And one of the first things that came out of this after everything went down, when, you know, everybody was still like figuring out what was up, which, by the way, we still don't know what the hell really went down. But a lot of people were saying or questioning whether or not it was staged. A lot of people felt like this was a staged event, partly because, like, you know, I mean, it felt like a movie scene, right? Like the presidential nominee gets grazed in the ear by a bullet. He misses, you know, being assassinated by a millimeter, you know, and a half an inch. Like, a lot of people were like, did Trump set this up so that he would, you know, be able to play victim and then, like, you know, hopefully in his eyes win his election so he could garner sympathy? A lot of people were questioning that. Also, partly because the shooter was spotted earlier, y'all, an hour before the shooting happened. He was spotted on the roof. There's eyewitness video of this dude on the roof with a rifle, an AR-15, mind you. Ironic, right? Ironic that it would be an AR-15 that we on the left have been trying to ban for God knows how long. This dude was spotted on the roof an hour before. There was law enforcement, and law enforcement officer climbed up to the roof, saw him, and allegedly the gunman pointed his gun at him, and the law enforcement officer climbed back down. And listen, obviously, duh, that's what you do when someone points a gun at you. You get out of the way. But then it's like, then what happened? What happened? That in that time period, this man was not taken off this roof. The fact that eyewitnesses on the ground were able to get video of this motherfucker. Okay? Also, the Secret Service response. Everybody is like, wait, you mean to tell me you let this fool get a whole photo op, multiple photo ops? There is a TikToker, I believe his name is Dinner Pancakes. You can look him up. He is not trained Secret Service, but he was trained in diplomatic protection services. So he has like training in this area, and he was kind of dissecting things and breaking things down. And he was like, look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't know. But what I can say based on my training is that there is no reason for what happened to have happened. He called it a tuck and chuck, where what Secret Service is supposed to do is they're supposed to get rid of that. They're supposed to get the person out of there immediately. They have a move called tuck and chuck, where they tuck them, carry them, and chuck them into a safe space, into the motorcade. All right. And according to this guy, like, you know, once the target is under threat, the target is no longer has autonomy over their body. The Secret Service is now in control. They grab that motherfucker and they go. That's what the hell they do. They don't just sit there and chill with him for 10 minutes. Okay, it wasn't 10 minutes, but someone timed it. They said it was a whole 50 something seconds, almost a minute, from the time that he went down to the time that he actually was escorted off of the stage. And then they allowed him to stand up, you know, in, you know, line of sight, and put his fist up multiple times. Everybody was like, they allowed him to get these photo ops. Everybody's like, what the hell is going on here? That doesn't make any sense. Like, y'all mean to tell me that anyway, so so people were like, you know, really suspicious because of the response and the way it went down, and how, you know, they should have gotten him out of there immediately. There should have been no exposure for him putting his hand up and getting, you know, all these shots, et cetera, et cetera. There was one point where he's like, let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes. And it's like, they let him put his shoes on. Like, it's just like, what is going on? What is going on? Also, the other aspect of this, that people were like, they're like, we haven't heard anything in terms of like his actual medical treatment. You know, whenever something happens to a public figure, especially a presidential candidate,